The new Audi A4. Well, at least I think it's the new Audi A4. You have to check the number plate to be sure because, to be fair, the design hasn't changed all that much in 12 years. For instance, right, here is this car there, right? That's the one before it, and that's the one before it. All very similar. And yeah, that's me after a heavy night out. Enough of that. Because on the inside, the design is quite different than the old car. So, well, it's lovely in here actually. The design is very simple, everything's easy to use, and the quality, it's exemplary. Now you've got to be careful though. None of the cars in the range come with full leather seats as standard, which is a little bit bizarre on a car in this class. However, they all do come with Bluetooth, they come with digital radio, you get parking sensors and xenon headlamps. However, you're going to want to step up to the sport model because then you get sat-nav and it's a really good system. I love Audi's user interface for the infotainment system, and you can watch our full review of it by clicking in the top right hand corner on the card to see a detailed review and for another look around this cabin. And you'll probably notice this one's actually got the widescreen display, which is lovely. I've also got what Audi calls their virtual cockpit, so no analog dials, it's all digital, and you can change the view through to different modes and even have full beautiful widescreen sat-nav there right in your eye line. Another thing that Audi's done is try to improve the practicality. So the door bins will take a 1.5 litre bottle of water, and they also will here in the back, which is quite unusual. Now Audi has actually increased the size of the A4 ever so slightly over the old one, and the numbers aren't that huge, but you do feel the difference. For instance, I'm 5'11"-ish, and well, I've got lots of knee room, plenty of headroom. Someone over 6 foot will be absolutely fine here in the back. It's a little bit wider than before, so it's less of a squeeze for 3 people, and you can see exactly what happened when we tried to fit 3 people in the back of this car by clicking in the top right hand corner of the screen on the card. But overall, I'll say that this is the most practical car in the back than all its rivals. And that brings us on to the boot. Now, in terms of the actual boot volume, well, the capacity is pretty much identical to the Mercedes C-Class and BMW 3 Series, but the Audi just seems to make better use of its available space. So the boot is nice and square, so you can really pack it full of stuff. There's a low load lip and a low load height, plus the opening's nice and wide, so it's not too difficult to load and unload it. And there's some nice features as well, such as these curry hooks and tethering points. And on the whole, I think the A4 is the most practical car in its class.
The Audi also comes with 3-way folding rear seats as standard, and that brings us on to the 5 other cool things about this car.
The Audi A4 is the most aerodynamic car in its class, with a drag coefficient of just 0.23 of a CD, which in case you're wondering is that much. The car uses high-speed NVIDIA chips so that you can actually use Google Earth via the internet for the mapping. Audi moved the side mirrors from there to the top of the doors to reduce wind whistle. See, it works. This huge vent emits a soft breeze, which Audi likes to call its air shower. The car is up to 21% more efficient and 120 kilograms lighter than its predecessor, but still can't bench press it.
However, while there is plenty to like about the A4, there are a few things which aren't so cool.
The glove box is a little bit small that you can't carry a pack of standardised paper. The S-tronic automatic gearbox can be a little bit jerky at slow speeds. Lumbar support doesn't come as standard on the bottom 2 trim levels. The sport mode button can be a little bit fiddly to press when you're driving. The A4 is a little bit boring, so perfect for accountants. Maybe that's why I like it.
But will I like it just as much when I hit the road?
Now we all know that a front-wheel drive Audi A4 is never going to be as much fun to drive as a rear drive BMW 3 Series, but how often do you get to fully exploit your car's handling? You know, for everyday motoring, this thing is almost perfect. And it's just so supremely quiet. It's also, well, so long as you avoid the sport suspension, very, very comfortable, especially on the adaptive dampers. I mean, this thing isn't devoid of fun anyway. It's actually all right. It handles very well, and it's only really when you chuck it into a very tight corner and then try and floor the throttle as you exit that the front tyres go, "What? You want me to accelerate and steer at the same time? Are you completely mad?" And anyway, if that's your thing, why don't you just get one of the grippier all-wheel drive Quattro models? Overall, this Audi A4 is just so easy and relaxing to drive. And Audi just manages to judge the weight of all the controls perfectly. So the steering, the brakes, the gear shift, they just feel nice to use. And it's quite an easy car to drive in town as well because the visibility is very good. There's no obvious blind spots to get in your way, and you can see for yourself by clicking on the top right hand corner of the screen on the card. In terms of engines, well, all of Audi's engines are really impressive. And I'm going to keep it nice and simple for you. If you don't do that many miles, get the 1.4 litre turbo petrol. If you do lots of miles, get the 2 litre diesel in 190 horsepower, guys, which is what this car has. And the reason is that it's nice and sporty, it feels pretty quick, and it actually gives really good economy. So Audi says it will do 67 miles per gallon, and in my hands it's doing almost 54. It's actually all right for my hands. Okay then, overall, what do I think of the Audi A4? Well, the design is a little bit bland and the options are quite expensive, but it's a really relaxing car to drive and it's practical. Now, if you click up there on the top right hand corner of the screen, you can see more information on this car and find out the best deal you can get on an Audi A4 at carwow.co.uk. Thanks for watching. Click over there for our group test video between the Audi A4, the Jaguar XC, the BMW 3 Series and Mercedes C-Class. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it and subscribe to our channel. Now, did you know that Audi made its first German left-hand drive car back in 1921?